Hey man, you already know the drill. It was a quiet Friday night and I was scrolling through Netflix for no reason with nothing to do and zero holes in my bed. For some reason, it's always that time I find the most interesting shows to watch. This time around, I found a show called The Dragon Prince, a fantasy adventure comedy. Emphasis on comedy, because let me tell you, this show starts off really funny. It starts off really funny. You'll find out what I mean soon enough. So, The Dragon Prince is a series about the journey of two human princes, Callum and his younger sibling Ezran, who alongside the help of Rayla, a Moonshadow Elf, adventure across the land of Xadia with one goal in mind: return the long-lost egg back to Xadia and back to its mother. You know, hence the name, The Dragon Prince. So they can finally bring an end to the 1,000-year war between the mythical creatures and the humans. Now, as you watch this show, you kind of start to notice that this plot is actually really similar to another certain fantasy show out there. I mean, minus the egg part. Yeah, this show is heavily inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender. And it's not like they're trying to hide it or anything, you know, apart from all the similarities in visual direction and even in their comedy. This show's co-creator was literally head writer on Avatar when it was airing. So I'm not lying, it's literally hard-coded into his DNA. But the thing with this show is that it can start to get really corny, like to the point where it gets annoying and starts to damage the story as a whole. You'll see soon that that's not even an exaggeration. But I like corny shit. That's my shit, bro. But despite all that, I really think this show has some good stuff to say. I feel like anyone could have a good weekend binging this over a good-ass pizza or something. But enough explaining it. How about I show you what I mean? This show currently has 4 seasons, but I'm just gonna review the first 3. For 2 reasons. 1, if I didn't, this video would take forever. 2, these seasons have been out for a while and season 5 is on the horizon. And literally coming out this month. Speaking of season 5, I'm gonna speak about season 4 in the next video when season 5 drops. Because I feel like those seasons can be classified as like completely different stories. But don't worry, I'm gonna give these seasons their fair due. I just won't go episode by episode like I usually do. Spoilers ahoy!
Hey, right, that makes sense, since we go way back. Like that one time, 10 minutes ago, when you chased me through the castle trying to stab me?
Now, in my opinion, season 1 is honestly probably one of the most solid openings I've seen in a 3D animated show in a while. I think it does a great job of like setting up future events in the plot and really succeeds in making me enjoy these characters and root for them. For now. Like literally in the first couple of scenes, we get a clear and concise explanation of Xadia and how the main magic system works there. And I think it's pretty damn cool. The creatures and people in this world draw their power from the 6 primal sources of magic. The sun, the moon, earth, stars, sky, ocean, and long ago these nations lived in harmony until the Fire Nation attacked. Yeah, this is one of the similar things I was talking about, but hey, they really make it their own thing, so I like it. I guess the best place to start is with our main character, Callum. I like Callum, and honestly, how could you hate him? He's witty, he's real nerdy, and he's just a fun character to see on screen.
I be popping bottles, Marcos and champagne, VIP my.
This doesn't end well for you.
What I think draws me to his character so much is that he feels like a real flawed person. In season 1, he's just a kid, going with the motions really, trying to do what he thinks is right. He's not really particularly skilled at anything, but he knows this, and he still tries to learn and improve his abilities every day. That's what makes him a good protagonist. He's relatable, and he's nothing if not human. Next up is his younger brother Ezran, also known as Literal Child Gandhi. Like, I'm not even bullshitting you, he could literally talk to animals. But I think his character represents something bigger than that, and I'll get into it in a second. And to finish off the main trio is our favorite Moonshadow Elf, Rayla. And in Callum's words, she's a
back-flippin', tree-climbing, sword-stabbing, elven warrior, but scared of a little splish-splashing?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I also really liked how they introduced her to us. At first, her and the other Moonshadow elves she's with are shown to be shrouded in darkness, stalking an unsuspecting human, almost like a hungry pack of wolves. But when Rayla finally catches this guy, her cold demeanor and gaze almost instantly disappear as this defenseless human begs for his life, and she ends up letting him go. I like this because it doesn't necessarily show that she's different from the rest just yet, but that the people of Xadia actually aren't that different from humans, and they have the capacity for compassion. I think just these 3 characters alone as a trio was what really made this series for me. I just really enjoyed their journey and interactions. It felt fun watching them. It didn't feel like I was watching 3 characters get from point A to point B in 9 episodes. It felt like I was watching 3 very different people growing a bond with each other and pushing through their struggles because they all share one common goal. And that brings me back to what I was talking about with Ezran. This is a perfect trio because they all represent different parts of this world. Callum represents humans, all their flaws and their weakness and hubris, while also being everything good about humans. He's funny, he's driven, caring, intelligent, always wanting to learn. And overall, he just strives to be a good person. Rayla represents Xadia. Rayla by herself is its own spectacle. She's quick, agile, skilled in combat. From how she looks to the way she talks, she just has a certain magic about her, like most creatures do in Xadia. And Ezran, in my opinion, is the perfect bridge between humans and Xadians. He is the shining example that these two species can in fact coexist with each other. He is the hope that there can be peace for the whole land of Xadia. Now, all that sounds great, right? But just remember, we're only in the first season. So the main conflict for the first couple of episodes is a hidden plot by those Moonshadow Elves to take the life of the King of Katalis, Callum and Ezran's dad, King Xero. This reaches him because of that guard that Rayla let live in the first episode. And as you can probably guess, that doesn't go over too well with the other elves, because by doing that, she gave away their position, you know, kinda indirectly killing them all. Oh, whoops. But back to the humans, we get a little glimpse into what their life is normally like. Callum normally practices sword fighting with Viren's son, Soren, and who, in my opinion, hands down, no debate, the worst character in this show. And we'll get to that when the time comes. Oh, we also have Viren's daughter, Claudia. She's cool, I guess. I ain't really got a problem with her. And Ezran and his fucking dog thing stage a heist on this poor baker and his jelly tarts. Wow, bro. So our first scene we get of our Black Prince is of him stealing some pastries. Like, bro, what's next? Is he also gonna hit a lick on all the elves for other EBT and food stamps? Come on, writers. But nah, in all seriousness, they're shown to have a pretty comfortable life. And that's why it was pretty interesting to watch all that shit crumble down in these next few episodes. It all starts with King Xero telling the boys he's sending them on a trip to the Panther Lodge, a winter lodge in the middle of springtime. And this kind of clues Callum into what's really happening, but, you know, at the moment, he can't really do much. Rayla is also getting shunned by her team while all this is happening, because prior to them finding out she lied about that human, they kinda made a magical life-binding pact to kill King Xero and his heir to the throne, Prince Ezran. And the thing is, if they don't, their hands are kinda gonna fall off, so a double whoopsie! So Rayla doesn't really like letting her team down and being the weak link, so she just says, fuck it, I'll do it myself, and scales a damn mountain to infiltrate the castle to assassinate the king. We also see Ezran in a library, and we witness his first introduction to magic, courtesy of Claudia, who shows him by blowing her fucking peanut butter breath in his face. And they're laughing like, bitch, I would never be this down bad to laugh when a bitch blow her hot ass doo-doo breath in my face. Like, have some shame, bro. But she used that spell by drawing energy from something called a primal stone, a magical ball that inside holds the power of one of the 6 primal sources, this one holding the power of the sky. And you might be wondering why this is even needed for them to use magic. A device like this is mostly only used by humans because as we progress, we learn that humans can't really use magic because they're not connected to it the way every other creature in Xadia is, which is why they have to resort to other means to use it, by drawing on the energy of actual magical things and creatures, otherwise known as dark magic. But we'll return to that in the second season because they touch on it a bit more. Cutting back to Rayla, we actually find she snuck into the castle undetected. But guess who's the one who finds her?
You know you can't sneak up on me.
What a coinky dink. So Callum pulls a fast one on her and starts running for his life. Unfortunately for him, she's kind of like a trained assassin or something, so it's kind of pointless. She soon enough catches up to him and starts talking mad shit, saying how humans deserve this because they destroyed the egg of the Dragon King, and how this war is all their fault, and how now she's gonna kill him to get revenge and all that. But Callum's just sitting there like, if you kill me, well, won't someone just want to kill you, and then wouldn't that cause a endless cycle of violence? That's too much thinking! Thankfully, Ezran sees this and thinks fast and hits her with that enemy AC 130 above. They run down into a hidden bunker Ezran found, and hooray, they're safe.
I just pressed all the stones with the jelly handprints.
See what I mean, bro? Writers might as well have gave that man fried chicken grease fingers. So yeah, this is definitely Viren's weird-ass dungeon, and Rayla sees all the Xadian creatures that he's captured, all dead and in bottles and shit. And she comes to the conclusion, yeah, okay, maybe all humans do deserve to die. But like Andre Iguodala, when the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, Ezran comes in the clutch and reveals...
can't be.
The egg. It wasn't destroyed.
Damn, that shit looked like it gets you high as fuck. But before they can react, Claudia of all people comes down there and catches them, and she's not too happy about it. Ew, hands off my perk, nigga. But they're able to escape due to that hot breath spell Callum learned earlier. And hooray, Callum's a magician. They make it to the roof, and now Rayla has to convince Runan, her leader, to call off the attack because the Dragon King's eggs wasn't actually destroyed, it was stolen. But Runan reminds her that it's not that easy because your hands are gonna fall off if you don't kill these two people. Still, none of them are backing down, so they're prepared to scrap. And Rayla drops the coldest line right here.
Don't do this. I will kill you.
Probably.
Looking death in the face and then smiling. You can't even lie. That's some real nigga shit. And with that, the elves officially launched their attack on the kingdom. And Callum wanted to see his dad one last time, but... yeah, wrong place, wrong time. It's also alluded to that Viren did something to Harrow, but it's too late. They kind of have to go now. And they all promise that no matter what, they have to get that egg back to the Dragon Queen and Xadia. Hell yeah, friendship. And that now brings me to my favorite part about this series, the adventure. Yeah, it's no secret that the show's at its best when it's working with this story format. A couple of unlikely characters teaming up on an adventure full of trials and tribulations to bring an end to a war that's gone on for centuries. Doesn't sound familiar at all, but you can't deny it works. And first up on the list of things to save the world or something, find a weird cube that Callum saw one time in the Bantha Lodge. He only remembered it because Rayla showed him the symbols of the 6 primal sources of magic, and he said he's seen those symbols on that cube before. Rayla is obviously curious into what the fuck any of that has to do with delivering the egg to Xadia, and Callum says, Rayla, I need it to be the magic man. So they go to the Bantha Lodge. Callum gives Rayla a map and she goes to find this cube. And there's no way this plan goes wrong and no way anything bad is going to happen. Triple whoopsie. So yeah, there's actually a reason Harrow was gonna send the boys to the Bantha Lodge. In the event of his assassination, they would have their Aunt Amaya watching over them at the Bantha Lodge. And I can never remember if she's deaf or she just can't speak. All I know is she speaks sign language. So yeah, I guess Callum just forgot they were actually expected to go there in the first place. So he basically just sent Rayla into a fucking death trap. But it's okay. After she gets free, they get away due to Callum's master plan.
Wait!
What are you saying?
He says, if we don't let you go, you'll kill them and drink their blood. That you are a monster.
Bro, that was your master plan? I get this is a high stress situation and all, but drink your blood, dude? For real? Bro tried to gas it up, like chill. So they escape, but... I can't put my finger on it, Callum, but I think she's mad at something. Well, why don't we check on what's happening in Katalis and who the fuck is letting him become the king? Like, was this actually agreed upon? Why were they actually about to let this happen? Look at this nigga. He radiates pure evil, bro. But thankfully, after what went down, Amaya rides back to Katalis to inform everyone the princes are actually still alive, so they could stop the coronation. Ugh, even this man's face. So after some magic practice, some witty banter, and a little bit of splish splashing, we come back to our heroes making their way across a freezing cold Iceland. And seems they've gotten themselves into a real predicament here. Well, nothing like a friendly game of Dragon Egg Hot Potato can't fix. A 1 and a 2. Oh yeah, I forgot about Rayla's hand. Could this be the fabled quadruple whoopsie? So since they just dropped this egg still in the incubation process in a below -30°C ice cold lake, it's kinda losing its life rapidly. So they have to make their way to a nearby town to see if there's any animal doctors that specialize in glowy eggs. Also, human Rayla.
Greetings, fella humans, human fellas. I sure do like hanging out with other humans and talking about things like money and starting wars.
No lie, guys, this is actually how America is seen to the rest of the world. Lucky for them, while this doctor doesn't really know how to deal with this, he knows someone who does, and they have to meet them at the place called the Cursed Caldera. Ooh. And while this is going on, Rayla is doing everything possible to get herself out of that binding, even using some guy's magic knife that burns hot enough to cut through anything. And she's putting it super close to her arm, like, bro, Rayla's metal as fuck. They meet this kid, Ellis, who tells them the story of how her dog Ava was saved by this mystery healer. So after they're ran out of town, the kid agrees to help show them the way. Yay, new teammates! So after some monster slaying, team bonding, and a little bit of tomfoolery, they make it through the forest with all the monsters and creatures of dubious origin. And they find themselves at the very top of the mountain in Caldera, where Ellis says she met the mystery healer. Only problem is, she's not there. So everybody's real disappointed now and don't really know what to do until... Dad? So this was the mystery healer the whole time, but Rayla immediately calls her out on her bullshit, because from one look at her, she recognizes who she is. She's actually a Moonshadow Elf. Her name is Lujane, an elf mage. Master of the Moon Arcanum, aka Master of Illusions. So she could never really heal anything, actually. But when it came to Ava's case, she made it to where anybody could see, touch, and feel her leg, but it wasn't really there. But you know, if they could see, touch, and feel the leg, isn't it just... a leg? I don't fucking know. So yeah, they kind of shit out of luck when it comes to healing the egg. But Lujane says the only way to save the egg is to hatch it. And the only way to do that is in the eye of a storm. And suddenly I want my own dragon pet. And hey, that's convenient. Yeah, there was kind of no satisfying way to end that whole ribbon thing arc, especially in 9 episodes. I'll let it slide though. On to the second season.
Strong relationships need honesty, the full truth.
Oh, now you sound like my first 3 husbands.
So season 1 overall, pretty solid. But season 2, that's where the cracks start to kind of rear their ugly head a little bit. The first thing we see this season is the Princess Aunt Amaya fighting off Sunfire Elves at the border. And I'll be honest, I'm not gonna talk about it that much. It's literally all we see them doing for the whole season. It was only interesting when Amaya and the leader of the elves interacted, because I like their character moments. Amaya fights them off for the whole season, gets captured, and looks into a light. That's literally all you have to know. And yay, we're back with the gang. And right now they're taking it real easy, without a care in the world, enjoying Lujane's illusion food. Hey, still better than my cooking, am I right? Hey, follow me on Twitter. And everyone's deciding the best next course of action, since now they actually have the Dragon Prince as Amandius, or just Zim for short. And Rayla seems to be the only rational thinking one this season, because she has the very controversial idea to keep moving.
What?
Why do we have to go?
We've only been here 2 days.
You guys do know you're like target number 1 for a lot of people right now, right? Lujane even backs this up, saying she sensed that they were being tracked since Zim hatched, and you'll never guess who was tracking them. Yay! So yeah, this was the season that made me start to feel a little bit iffy about these characters. Just know that they were sent to find the princes by Viren, and in the most unsubtle way is telling his own children to go kill them. And what do you know? They found them. And can I just point out that Lujane really did know that they were tracking them since 2 days ago, and just decided not to tell anyone until now? Like, how lonely does it get up there, Lujane? So Claudia and Soren try to kill Rayla in her sleep, but Callum steps in. Wait, guys, stop, we're all friends here. Don't worry, guys, she's one of the good elves.
What do you mean, but a good elf?
Yeah, Callum, I'll be honest, you really have a way with words, man. So now for like 2 episodes, we have to sit through Claudia and Soren just lying to Callum about why they're actually there. And Callum just blatantly ignoring all of the red flags because he wants to get at Claudia. Like, Callum, please just think about it for 5 seconds. Do you really think the girl who tried to stop you from taking the egg in the first place, and who took it upon herself to track you down for days, would suddenly have a change of heart because you trust her and we all could be friends and live in peace? You're not Steven Universe, buddy. She wants the dragon. Not to mention her fucking brother. This is where my problems started arising with this dimwit. Okay, so look, his dad tells him he's sending him and his sister on a mission to find the princes. Simple, right? But Viren also hits him with one of them, but it'd be a shame if something bad happened to them on accident Wink, wink. And do you know what this man does? He immediately tries to make an accident happen to them. And the show is trying to convince me that this shit is funny. It's not! This grown-ass man is trying to kill these two children. Ezran would have died if Rayla didn't interrogate Soren and tell him to tighten the peg. This is when I kind of knew his character was about to be written horribly. Like, guys, it doesn't matter if it did not work. He still tried to do it. Okay, but Rayla decides the only way to make Callum come to his senses is to tell him they're lying about his dad being alive. Something she's known for a while since the other binding she had fell off on its own. You know, which means he's... She ends up telling him, and now he's all mad and sad and all the feelings. But now since his brain is working right again, they prepare a plan to escape from them. And when they're all about to leave, Soren and Claudia launch their inevitable double cross and succeed in taking them all hostage. Or so they thought.
Please don't give me the silent treatment, Callum. Say something. Say you hate me. Say anything.
Ooh, illusion. And they're also saved by some big black man Amaya sent after them in the first season. And we can finally move on from that weird ass arc. Oh yeah, and Viren's playing with himself in the mirror or something. Definitely not an important plot point, guys, I promise. Also, crash and burn.
It's nice having both hands again.
I know that feeling. So now our heroes are back searching for a way to Xadia. And they've decided if they're gonna make it there, they're gonna need a bigger boat. So now they're trying to find a boat captain. But first, human Rayla.
Hello again, fella humans. Human fellas, let's go judge and criticize things other humans do, and then do the exact same thing ourselves.
That's so real, human Rayla. And they eventually find a captain that'll help them. Vilas the Pirate, who is blind in both eyes. And now we're One Piece. So Callum's having a midlife crisis because Lujane said he couldn't do magic because he's a lame-ass human. So now he's trying everything possible to connect with any source of magic he can. And Callum, being the modern-day Aristotle he is, decides the best way to connect to the Sky Arcanum is to climb next to a fucking lightning rod in the middle of a thunderstorm. That's just so stupid. Okay, now Callum, I don't think this is gonna work the way you think it is. You know what? Could have been worse. But hey, he's not actually dead because he's a thunder dragon and all that. But Callum is still powerless. Yeah, I don't know what you thought you were achieving with that one, bro. And while all this is going down, Viren's been putting in some work, gathering all the kings and queens of the human kingdoms to talk about the threat of Xadia. He gives them a big speech on how they all must rally their forces and must act first because everyone's in danger. And every ruler agrees to join if every other king and queen is in agreement. But out of all of them, the Kid Queen is the only one to be like, yeah, no, that's stupid. Why would I do that? And Viren starts getting real angry. She doesn't want to recklessly risk the lives of her soldiers. But it's okay. He calms down, takes a breath, and turns his gaslighting ability up to 10 and starts talking about her dead parents. More specifically, the time they begged King Xero and all of Katalis for resources in their time of famine. Now, if there's one thing I think this season did amazingly, it's everything and anything that had to do with the morality of dark magic. King Xero obviously wants to help them in their time of need, but Viren brings up a good point. Hey man, we ain't got no food either. So Viren had to come up with a solution. He tells Xero about a creature called a magma titan, living just near the border of Xadia, and says if they can slay it and harvest his heart, using dark magic, he could spread the energy all over the lands, causing crops to rapidly grow to the point they'd have food for not just 2, but 10 kingdoms. Now that sounds like a good idea on paper, but the one person to have a problem with all that was his wife, the Queen Sarai, and Ezran and Callum's mother. She brings up good points to really make him consider the weight of his actions. Is this creature intelligent? Does it think and feel the same way we do? Does it have a family? All topics of debate that are controversial even in today's society, but seeing no other way, Xero goes through with it and they succeed in slaying the Titan. But I don't think the King of Dragons is too pleased with a couple of humans invading his land and killing his inhabitants because... Well, overall, they still succeed in bringing harvest to the land, but, you know, at what cost? When it comes to dark magic, you always end up paying the price somehow. And the show don't stop cooking just yet. Confused on what to do anymore, Callum opens the letter he got from King Xero last season. And let me tell you, this is probably the best scene in the show, and this really made me fall in love with the show's philosophy and characters. I wouldn't even do it justice telling you, I'm just gonna show you.
Dear Callum, over the years there have been moments when I let there be a distance between us. Because I'm your stepfather, I was trying to give you the space I thought you needed to love your real father, even though he passed away. Callum, I know I'm not your birth father, but in my eyes and in my heart, you are my son, and I love you unconditionally. As I write this, the sun is setting while Moonshadow assassins prepare to end my life. In this letter, I will share with you a lie, a wish, and a secret. When I am gone, your brother Ezran will become king, and you will be his partner, his defender, and his closest advisor. Soon you will both face a lie, the great lie of history. Advisors and scholars will tell you that history is a narrative of strength. It will recount stories of the rise and fall of nations and empires. There will be stories of armies and battles and decisive victories. This isn't true strength. It's merely power. There is a beautiful upside-down truth, which is that these moments of purest strength appear as weakness to those who don't know better. For a long time, I didn't know better. I ask you and your brother to reject history as a narrative of strength and instead have faith that it can be a narrative of love. I don't know what lies on the other side, but I do know I will be watching over you and your brother, always.
Do I even really need to explain why that shit was peak writing? But with every action comes an equal opposite reaction, and the writers really shit the bed in the 7th episode. So we're back with my 2 favorite characters, yay! So Claudia and Soren find a nearby town to try to lock this guy up for being a traitor, but to their surprise, there's a dragon flying above them, minding its own business, I might add. And everyone is totally fine with just letting this dragon fly on by, except for, you guessed it, Soren. So I guess since he's the crown guard, people have to listen to him or something. So he tells the soldiers to arm the ballista to prepare to shoot the dragon, even though it's not doing anything. And everyone is literally begging this man, please Soren, please don't get us all fucking killed. And he is actively choosing to ignore them. So I want you to take a guess on what the fuck happens next. There was literally no reason for him to do this. And then he has the audacity to say, "Aw, gee, shucks, I really messed up this time, Claudia." Like, huh? Bro, you don't even fucking believe that. You're sitting around here joking.
So you just carry a griffin eyeball around with you? Who does that?
Oh, how about thank you for carrying a griffin's eye with you, Claudia. You're so prepared. You're the best.
Can you guys please stop fucking around? Oh my god. Thankfully, our heroes do something heroic and stop these damn monsters from causing any more damage than they already have. But they kind of corner Rayla, and since Callum doesn't have his powers, he kind of has to...
What are you doing?
Your kind of magic.
So yeah, he did save Rayla and the dragon's life, but you know, as you know, dark magic doesn't really go over too well with Xadians. Uh-oh, going down. Oh, and this fucking idiot gets paralyzed. But it will soon become very apparent why this meant absolutely nothing in the long run. And ha! I lied. The mirror was important. Did I get you? Did I get you? So the figure in the mirror was a being named Erebos. And this whole time, he's been telling Viren to find a bunch of random items so that he could create a weird little worm thing so he could communicate with him on the other side of the mirror. And bro has the most majestic voice.
How long I've waited to hear the sound of another voice. How may I serve you?
Whoa, 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 you trying to seduce me, gang? And since after that whole speech with their parents and all that, the child queen still didn't want to join forces with Katalis, and Viren's kind of in trouble for putting the king's seal on the letters to gather the human leaders, he kind of sees Erebos as his only way out. Also, that one guy who was tracking them escaped from Soren and Claudia when that whole dragon thing happened, but he's not there to fight, but to instead serve Ezran as the rightful king of Katalis. Oh yeah, and I guess everyone just forgot to tell Ezran his dad was, dead. We cut back to Soren and Claudia, and Soren is in the hospital like he deserves. And I cannot believe they're trying to make me feel bad for this man. He is a danger to society, bro. And he never faces any consequences for his actions. Even now, as he lies paralyzed in a hospital bed, it doesn't matter. He gets fully healed by Claudia using dark magic, and it's not even his problem anymore, cause she's the one dealing with the repercussions now. What message are we trying to send here, guys? But it's okay. Callum is coming in clutch once again to save this season from total mediocrity. I always love the dream sequences in media because you could take the symbolism anywhere, really. After Callum's foray into dark magic, he's kind of been passed out for a while, and in his conscience, he's kind of been having battles with, well, himself. There's a Star Wars reference to be made here, but I forgot. His other self is trying to pull him over to the dark side, but Callum knows the consequences of allowing himself to use dark magic, and he fully rejects it. But that just sends his mind into an even bigger spiral with just a jumble of pretty much nonsense happening on your screen. But if you think about it, it makes sense. In this dream, Callum becomes a boat sail. In reference to the lesson about sails Vilas gave him earlier, but also to help him understand something. Later in the dream, there's a scene of him sitting on the bed with his mom, who we know passed away, comforting him. And I gotta commend the writers on this one. This is a very well thought out sequence. Throughout the whole scene, he's telling his mom how he's so confused and overwhelmed with thoughts and his mind is racing. But all his mom keeps telling him to do is breathe. Now, I like this scene because they want you to interpret it in 3 ways. 1, breathing is usually the action that helps you calm down and think about a situation rationally. Number 2, he needs to breathe because, you know, he's kind of dying right now. And 3, what he reveals to Rayla when he wakes up. It's that he now knows the secret to the Sky Arcanum. It's to breathe. The sky is all around us in the air we breathe. So when he calms himself and draws on the air around him and just breathes.
Aspero.
Amazing scene, 10 out of 10, deserves an Oscar. So everyone's all happy because Callum can use magic again, but it's short-lived. While all that was happening, Ezran needed to take a breather after learning about his dad. So he, just took a little, short fucking trip to Katalis. If you're wondering how he got there and back so fast, it's because he hitched a ride on a banther. A bear panther, yes. And he saw the kingdom was low-key in dire need of someone on the throne, so he's taking it upon himself to go back to Katalis to become the king. Yeah, that was a big curveball, I know. But they ultimately understand, and they say they're goodbyes as he walks off into the sunset. You go, Gandhi. Mission's not over yet, though. After they cross some magic moon lava bridge, their next trial is to actually gain access into Xadia. Just past the former king of dragons, Sol Regum. But before the season ends, Viren now has the power... I forgot I wrote that. But before the season ends, Viren now has the power of Erebos coming inside of him, and before he's captured, he releases a handful of magic shadow assassins to get his get back on all the human leaders of the kingdoms. Quintuple whoopsie. Okay, I'll stop with the whoopsies.
Me too, Callum. But look at them, playing together. That's the miracle. That's hope. They're the ones that are gonna break the cycle.
Season 3. I feel the best way to explain to you what season 3 is like is to imagine like a clown. Now, imagine you hired this clown for a birthday party, and for the first 2 hours, he's been doing a pretty good job entertaining the kids. Maybe in the second hour it died down a little, but overall, he's been doing a pretty good job. But imagine like, for the 3rd hour, he pulls out this pie joke, right? And he hits himself in the face with the pie. And all the kids are just laughing, right? Just having a good time. So, he does it again. And everyone's still laughing, man, bawling their eyes out. But then, he does it again. And again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and bro, we get it, we get the joke, please stop. Nah, I don't think I hear you guys laughing, but don't worry, I can fix that. And then he slams a grenade in his pie, then he throws it at a kid. So yeah, that's season 3. Ready? So we're back in action, still making our way to Xadia, and before our heroes confront Sol Regum, we learn a little bit more about how he fell as the King of Dragons. Obviously, he was beefing with a human, because it's always the humans, and Sol Regum didn't like this human's usage of dark magic, and tells him, hey, if you don't stop, I'm just gonna kill everyone in that kingdom over there. And the human's like, aha, no, stop, and then blinds him. And now here we are. So now Callum and Rayla have to sneak past him, but Zim ends up getting them caught because we need a plot for this episode. So now Rayla has to try to reason with him to let them pass. It takes some convincing, but ultimately he agrees to let them go. Unfortunately for Callum, Nah, I think you're just smelling him. He hasn't showered for days. So Sol Regan can tell that Callum's used dark magic before, so now he kinda wants to slaughter him. But don't worry, Callum has another master plan. So since this nigga stinks, he'll just give Rayla his scarf to make Sol Regan think it's Callum and dodge his attacks long enough for Callum and Zim to make a run for it. And after some planning, some more banter, and an awkward moment that's totally not hinting at something, their plan works and they successfully escape from Sol Regan. And I'm not even gonna ask why he didn't question the fact a normal-ass human was moving fast enough to dodge his attacks. Let's check on Ezran. Yeah, it's going as well as I thought it would. So obviously Ezran's having a little bit of a hard time doing kingly activities because, you know, he's like 8 or something. On top of having to like decide the fate of the people he's known since he was a baby. Which, by the way, good choice unlocking Soren up. I commend you. He kind of has to deal with the past promises Viren made to some kingdoms, like the Prince of Neolandia, Kasif. He was ready to join Viren's whole war effort, but Gandhi's all about meditation and peaceful protests, so he's not rocking with it. Kasif is kind of mad because he wants to avenge his dad, so he walks away, but this definitely isn't the last time we're seeing him. Man, you can't help but feel sad for the kid. Well, on another note, oh my god, we're having so much fun in Xadia. So next up on the agenda is to visit Rayla's hometown in Xadia. But first, Elf Callum?
Oi, mate! I'm an Earthblood elf. All me best mates are trees. Mate is Earthblood for friend.
Ah, yo, that's racist. But her hometown is hidden by some kind of illusion, so now they have to do a funny little dance to go in. So Rayla's real excited, she's back home, and it's pretty wholesome. But Callum realizes something is a little off. No one has a face. And Rayla starts panicking because she knows what that means. It means they made her a ghost. Basically, it means she's been shunned by her people and they did some magic or something so no one can see her and she can't see anyone's faces. Don't worry, Rayla, happens to the best of us. She even got ghosted by one of the people who raised her as a child. Like, damn, you even got ghosted by your parental guardian? But as a ghost, you're still visible to anything that has a reflection. And Athari, the elf in question, sees her and starts to feel bad. He says he knows she would never betray them out of malice, but he still blames it on her that the other elves are gone. But my question is, like, if you believe that she had a good reason for leaving, why ghost her in the first place? Wouldn't you want to hear that reason? But he ends up breaking the spell anyways to let her explain herself, and we obviously know she had a good reason. And Athari understands and even ends up helping them. But why even ghost her in the first place? Are you bipolar or something? If you were gonna hear her out anyway, then why even go through the trouble? Okay, never mind, I don't care anymore. Oh yeah, and Viren's in prison now, but he's only in there because it's part of his evil master plan. I think this is also a good time to talk about what I think about him as a character. I honestly feel like Viren is a good villain, but I wish we'd learned more about his past a little bit. I just really want to understand why everyone, including the king, used to trust this man so much. He fits his role perfectly as a villain. He's cold and calculated, cruel and manipulative. You could tell he has some compassion for his kids, but it doesn't stop him from treating them like he does everyone else. Like even in this scene, gaslighting the fuck out of Soren and saying he obviously must have misheard him when he told him to kill the princes to save face in front of Claudia. I guess I just want some more backstory to him so I can understand him as a character better. Like anyone could tell this man was pure evil from the jump. I just want to know what led everyone else to believe otherwise for so long. But back with Rayla and Callum, they're riding on their weird shadow moon horses until they're stopped by this weird fucking bat thing. Naimi Salari Nicantia, or just Nyx. She says she's a messenger for the Dragon Queen and says the Queen got Ithari's letter and says she's so happy her son is alive. So Nyx here was ordered to take Zim home right away, and obviously this bitch is lying to you. Yeah, they don't even believe her for real. But as soon as she offers them a shortcut because they have to get there quick because the Dragon Queen is dying. Oh yeah, I guess the Queen's dying of sadness or something. I don't know, it wasn't really specified. They immediately throw reason out the window and go with this complete stranger and trust she's telling the truth. Like, Rayla is literally mad suspicious of Nyx, and she still goes against her better judgment for no reason. I also wish they didn't reveal to us that Nyx was plotting on them so early on. I mean, we knew. Everybody knew. But at least that would have made the viewers kind of question if she was actually evil or not. That would have been interesting. So Nyx takes them on a trip through the dangerous midnight desert where magical snake things called soulfang serpents are located. And supposedly it feeds on the souls of living creatures, and if it bites you, it drains your soul. So yeah, this big ass camel thing was probably a good idea. Oh yeah, and these two have been pissing me off because ever since they left the Silver Grove, they've been fighting for no reason. Mainly because Rayla is being a huge dick whenever Callum tries to ask her if she's okay. But I'm not taking sides here because I don't really care enough. It's stupid. But to all my people who are desperate to be in a relationship, don't be so eager. This is what they're actually like. Rayla starts crying in the middle of the night because obviously she wasn't okay. We knew this. And she starts pouring out all her insecurities to him. And he says, no, haha, you're so perfect though. And one thing leads to another and...
That's not what I was expecting.
You were saying all those things, so I thought...
He has the cooties. Yay, the moment we've all been waiting for, even though Callum fumbles the bag right after and misconstrues his words. But no time to think about that. Nyx took Ozymandias, like we all thought. Fucking idiots.
Whatever your stupid scheme was, it's over, Nyx.
We trusted you.
What's the big deal? I was just taking Zim back to his mum.
So she tries to fly away, but Zim low-key kicks her ass, and now she's stuck in a circle of soul fangs. Oi, crikey, mate! I got myself into a right bloody pickle here, haven't I? And, okay, we all know Rayla's gonna swoop in and save her, but wouldn't it be kinda crazy if they actually, like, left her there? I mean, they were thinking about it. So Rayla saves her, and Nyx is all like, oi, thanks for saving me hide back there, even though I betrayed you and all that, cobber. Callum starts talking again about how the reason Rayla saved her is because she's so awesome and selfless and all that, and yada yada yada. You know what happens next.
Wow.
Silly Callum. That's not how you master the moon arcanum. So Nyx eventually takes them to where the Dragon Queen's home is, but then they see a familiar bird off in the distance.
Ezran!
Ezran's back? Yeah, you might be wondering why he's back. Funny story.
Enough! I've already told you Katalis will not wage war on Xadia.
Then tomorrow at dawn, 3 armies will wage war on Katalis.
All hail the king! All hail the king! All hail the king! All hail the king!
Okay, maybe not that funny of a story. And out of all people, he was helped by Soren. So I guess Soren's getting his own redemption arc because the writers really can't see him as anything else than our lovable idiot. So what? He's made a couple mistakes, you know, maybe a few that endanger the lives of others. Who cares? He's funny. But with Ezran off the throne, Zamasu over here is going through with Plan Zero Xadians and marching on the Xadian border. And look how he parts the lava like he's Moses. This man might have something beyond a god complex. Oh yeah, and he can also see his mirror boyfriend now because that worm thing shot his gobbledygook in his eye. So now they can talk about couple things like date spots and chocolate and that one time they killed the literal king of dragons. Just couple goals, man. Oh yeah, and just a disclaimer, we've talked about like 6 episodes of season 3 so far, and I just want you guys to know, in the last 3 episodes, everything bad I have ever said about this show does not compare to the amount of lazy, uninspired, unfunny writing I've seen in a finale in a long time. Also, thank you guys for watching this far. It means more to me than you'll ever know. And if you agree with what I'm saying, or if you think my viewpoints are shit, but you think I'm funny, leave a like and subscribe, because I really do want to make more videos like this in the future. Love y'all, man. Back to the video. So you remember the start of the 2nd season when I was talking about Amaya and how she got captured and the light and all that? Yeah, so this is where the stuff actually becomes important. This is the kingdom of the Sunfire Elves, and Viren hatches an evil plan that has him purposely get himself captured by the elves. And lucky for Viren, they're kind of stupid. And they don't get suspicious at all when the literal ruler of a kingdom allows himself to get captured and then allows himself to be taken right to the source of energy for for your whole kingdom. And you could argue that, hey, maybe it's just their tradition to purify unholy humans. But I'll be honest, if I was the queen, I think I'd be a little more cautious at bringing random dark mages to my prime source of energy that can be very easily corrupted by dark magic. But maybe they didn't know that could happen, and this kingdom's whole purpose was just to be one big fat plot device. And what can he do with this new power? Turn all his human troops into roided out Hulk monsters. Yeah, guys, can you see where this finale is going? And out of everyone here, once again, Soren is the only one who finds anything wrong with this picture, and he dips out. I'm tired of Soren being the only rational one here. It's so weird. Team Avatar makes it to the top of the mountain where they're greeted by a high mage elf, who then proceeds to drop the most unnecessary cliffhanger.
It makes my heart leap to see that he lives. But you're too late.
But then in the next episode, he was like, haha, JK, she's just asleep. Yeah, that was kind of the final clue I needed to know that the writers were not gonna try at all during this finale. This guy's name is Ibis, Mage of the Skywing Elves. And he tells them just recently the Dragon Queen, Queen Zubeia, closed her eyes and has not opened them for 10 days straight. But she's still breathing, so she's alive. Ibis deduces it's because she lost her husband and child, so yeah, it's still dying of sadness. Rayla is sitting down somewhere being sad because the writers always need her to be upset about something. This time it's because it turns out her parents were on the personal guard of the Dragon Queen, and they were meant to protect the egg when it was stolen, and everyone says it's their fault because they think they ran away. Like, damn guys, can we give Rayla a break? She's sounding like comic book Spider-Man out here. But that's the last bit of sort of interesting writing this season produces, because as soon as Soren shows up, it turns into a literal Nick Jr. show. So Soren starts to go on and on about, oh my god, we're all doomed, guys. And you know, I think this scene speaks for itself.
And my dad, he stole some kind of horrible power. And he used it to transform his armies into something else. And he's leading them here for him, the Dragon Prince.
Why? So to get ready for the upcoming battle, Callum wants Ibis to teach him a Skywing Elf spell that allows you to literally grow wings and fly. But Ibis says that only a few select Skywing Elves in the world can actually perform this spell. But look, all I'm telling you guys, and I'm not gonna say it's his fault, but the specific time Soren joined the group, this show stopped making sense. So now we're here in the final battle, and hey, Aunt Maya is here with her lover and her Sunfire Elf friends. So now let's make a plan and keep cracking bad jokes to the point where it feels like no one in this room is taking this seriously at all. And I am not lying about the comedy being atrocious.
We only wait on your command, King Viren. It's fine.
Okay, so now epic fighting. Boom, bah, 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 bah. And damn, did Ezran just kill all those people? And wait, is that the fucking baker? What the fuck bro gonna do? Throw some jelly tarts at them niggas? I was joking. So now Viren is gonna finally accomplish his goal and harvest the magic of Ozymandias, the dragon brain. But don't worry, Rayla will stop. Oh. Now, Callum, please don't do what I think you're going to do.
Rayla, I love you. Manus, Uma, Volantis.
Callum! But how did you?
Because I love you, Rayla. I really do.
I love you too, Callum.
I don't have to explain that, right? Like, I'm debating if I should even explain the sheer magnitude of that ass pull. Like, you guys get it, right? Like, you get why. You know what? I don't care anymore. This season's done anyways. So we've done it, gang. We've beat Fire Lord Ozai. And the Dragon Queen.
Is this a dream? I can't believe it. Elves and humans are here, and they've brought back my baby, my love, and my hope.
I'm not crying, guys. No, seriously, I'm not crying. In all seriousness, even after all that shit, I still think this show is worth a watch. And you can make the argument that they kind of shot themselves in the foot in terms of that 9-episode format every season that doesn't leave too much room to fully flesh out some characters and storylines. But honestly, I think they've done a great job so far with those 9 episodes and crafting them into something always entertaining to watch. Now, I can't back what the writers were doing in season 3 because we went from a show with important lessons and sound philosophies to share to a weird fan service fest. Like, the finale was wholesome, but still, what was that Nick A30 ass ending? Like, I half expected to get hit with the
amazing. Never back down. Never give up.
Hey, but you know what? I'm gonna still tune in for this show. Season 5 comes out this month, so next time if you want to see me talk about seasons 4 and 5, drop some support in the comments. Or you can just say, shut up, Xero, I hate you. You could say that too, I mean. But as you're leaving this video or writing that comment, I just want you to remember something. It's something important I really need you to take away from this video. I need everyone here to remember whose game it is, and there can only be one man, with everybody saying L.A. Knight.